Hello there, Capricorn. I have not been ignoring you, and I'm sorry that you've had to wait for your May love check-in, but here we are tonight, and I know that you guys are the most faithful, hardworking, never give up people in the universe. I admire that. You guys have the work ethic that makes you immensely hireable at any level. However, the fatal flaw, the thing that holds you guys back, is not being able to value yourself as much as the companies that you work for. Okay? I researched because I'm not an astrologer, but what I found out is that Capricorn's main weakness is they never focus on the work-life balance, okay? So I already dealt some cards tonight, hello, trying out a new format tonight, because my heart is moved by Capricorn tonight, and I want to ask the cards, that was my goal, is to see what is it that is in the way. If there's any kind of block to what it is that you're wanting to have for yourself, this is the time to take a peek at it. We're about to have a full moon, and that's a great time for releasing energy, right? So those Capricorns that have been drawn to this reading, this is for you if you are worn to the bone, a little discouraged and disappointed. So if you're a Capricorn that's doing fantastic, please go to another one of the wonderful readers online, because this is definitely a reading for Capricorns that are ready for change, because something's happening. Look at these cards, okay? So what we're doing here is this first card is the present energy. This is how, if we're just going to take like a selfie of your energy right now when it comes to manifesting, moving forward, creating a next career step. It could be also applicable if you're needing a relationship advice, anything where you really need to step forward for whatever reason you're not making any motion forward, okay? So the present energy is cleaning house. What strikes me about this figure is how small the woman looks, okay? Look at the dresser next to her. Take that in. And then look at the legs carefully. This figure is skin and bones, right? The not even having legs, because it's the brooms. And I think what a perfect image that is for Capricorn, for Pete's sake. You know, it's like your work is so important to you. Now, you might even dislike your job. You might even dislike your career. It doesn't matter. It's like you took on the responsibility and you're not giving up. This is true in your relationships too. I mean, this to me looks like such a fragile figure when I look at her. And then the dresser behind her is so out of scale. So one of the things that we're hoping for here is a resolution of these 5 cards, and I'm going to clarify here with my tarot, of course, but that probably I'm not telling you something you don't know. Maybe you haven't seen it as cleaning house. But there's some things that are available to you right now in your circumstances that are letting you kind of take an audit and see what's going on and what you want to deal with, and also to save time. Okay, and so the next card here, this is a magic prayer. This card is what's coming toward you. So what this shows me is that you have just had enough. You know, you're like, okay, I want to find an answer. And so in your way, whatever prayer is to you, you decided enough inner conflict, I'm going to get some help. Some of you have actually called somebody for help, but others of you, it's more of a decision. You've just decided enough, and you can feel it coming toward you. It's like an answer to some unspoken prayer. In this position, this balancing act is what you need to focus on. I love these cards. I love how the cards fall exactly how they should. Okay, because the third card in this little reading is all about balance. And I look at this, look at how the ship is balanced on this bubble, on this string that she's holding. And that is, in essence, what your life is like. You know, you feel tight as a drum trying to hold things together. Those of you, some of you may not feel this to the extreme, and you're not sure what it is that you're feeling, but there's this overall kind of burnout or an itch for something new, maybe some boredom going on. Okay, so, but that idea of just being taught and holding things together. And here, the ship, when I look at this, there's hearts. Okay, so the people on this ship are itty bitty, because look at how now, this has happened in the past where the woman is diminished and shortened by her experience. Here, she steps into her full power. She's completely balanced. It's easy for her to balance the rest of her life. And the itty bitty people on here are having a party. And that strikes me, whoops, I think I just hit my mic, sorry. But this makes me think that the people that you've been worried about and carrying, and you can't make a change because that's going to affect all these other people, the reality is their problems are their problems. And so once you can let the people have their own problems, figure out their own self, and even if it's at your job where all of a sudden you're working way too long, or you're putting in tons of hours and you're not getting any financial credit for it or even emotional support. And once you separate yourself from your company and just let work be at work, those people are happy too at some level, you know, because maybe they feel your intensity and it's just a break for them to be separate from you. Did you ever think of it that way? Anyway, and then this card right here, details. This one is what you need to release or let go of. Okay, this is the advice from the cards, from the universe for you, Capricorn. And we're going to clarify here in just a second. But the details. All right, so that means two things to me. One is it's just a little too analytical. You know, you're aware of so many details that your brain is exhausted. And the other is that you need to be attentive to details, okay? Because it could be that you're feeling a little bit defensive about things. When you get stressed, you don't really like it. You don't like to be challenged. And so that may be part of the message too. Also, I look here in the magnifying glass, it says clarity. Okay, so that's interesting to me. I didn't spot that before. So there is, to me, the desire to have clarity and certainty, and I can't go forward until I know for sure. Oh, sorry to pound on the counter. I'll tell you that in the psychological list of the needs that humanity needs, that a human being needs to feel secure, yes, for sure, certainty is part of it. It's part of the equation. But did you know that uncertainty is equally as important? That in our mind, how our brains work, if we don't have a certain degree of uncertainty, our life is not as rich, because we are kind of like problem-solving machines. Your brain wants to create ideas and wants to help you solve your problem. There's no question. If you're feeling like you're not hearing from your inner guidance or that you're blocked in any way, that's natural. It happens to all of us, okay? And those of you who come for readings, yay. You know, it's just the little bits of guidance. Those of you who are going through the situations that I'm talking about, you know what you know, and you know the change that you want to bring. You know the kind of success that you want to have. You know the kind of relationship you want to have. I mean, what do you want? Where could there be more sweetness, right? Where's more sweetness in your life? And let yourself want it. Then we can release some of the details you don't have to worry about. And this card is our outcome. This is the card that is the solution to this situation in the cleaning house. And what it is solitude, okay? Whatever it is that this means for you in your life, we need to take advantage of this time with the full moon to spend some time in solitude. Whatever you can do, to just make sure that you're at a place where you're not serving anybody. You could have a sick day. I mean, how many sick days do you take when just to have a sick day? I imagine not too many. So this is a time, if you're serious and you really want change. Let's see, I'm just going to draw a couple of tarot cards here for that solitude and see what else we have. So the Wheel of Fortune is, of course, a wonderful card to get. But with the solitude, that really speaks to me about the fact that you will get luckier. You will have more good fortune for yourself, and whatever that means to you, once you take this outcome that you trust, that stepping away from your life in any way, a yoga class might be nice, somewhere where you can absolutely have an experience with your own self without needing to serve anybody. That's your lucky charm, Capricorn. And I know that's hard news to hear, because it would be nice, wouldn't it be nice if the world worked that the harder you worked, the more people praised you? The harder you worked, the more people paid you. That the harder you worked, your life would be perfect. But how many of you have some secret desire that's just not being met? Okay, let's add another card. Yes, the Knight of Swords. This always makes me think of a person, the man is running and trying to chase the motorcycle. Okay, things are moving so fast that it's out of order. And for Capricorn, out of order doesn't feel good part of the time, because you like to have the world the way it is. But this is saying that as long as your momentum is moving forward, and look at how the bird is coasting. Do you know what it's like to coast? I've never seen this card this way. Do you feel like you're always running, and then the bird is able to just coast on the wind of what's happening at the moment, right? So this makes complete sense if you can believe it, that learning to have silence with yourself and just not have to be working so hard could be as rewarding somehow as chasing and working. Can you learn to coast? Six of Cups, beautiful. The idea of this activity of coasting, letting yourself have that solitude, you can end up in a warmer heart space. Something around you will feel more like coming home. Okay? You'll have a more welcoming energy. It's part of what's lucky about being alone. The next one is the Moon. It will feel confusing. It'll feel like you're dropping into a different world. I mean, you're used to being up here on the surface where the wolves are howling all the time, and it's hard to figure out what to do. And dropping into this place where you spend time alone, even listening to a meditation tape. In fact, I'll put a couple of those in the comments, because that's what I do. I allow somebody to guide me into a place of aloneness with my experience. But it will feel awkward to you. It'll be uncomfortable. Another sign, the full moon is here on, I think, the 15th or 16th or between. So this is a great time to be considering what it is that you can release and let go of here with the details. Our next card, Ace of Pentacles. Something brand new is growing. In fact, the seed is already there. See how the roots are growing down? So you've either already met someone or already gotten an idea or a resource that is really going to be so fruitful for you coming up here, to really help you with the whole cleaning house thing, the whole being excited about the future with something new. Okay, of course the Pentacles can be about money, but it's also about your relationship with the people and the things that you encounter here. It's more your experience in the here and now, fresh start. And then we have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is one of my favorite cards because the Ten of Swords is the backstabbing card. It's the one where the poor person has got all these swords out of its back, and it looks so deadly. It's a card that's full of victim energy, and a lot of things that have happened, a lot of choices that were made maybe weren't the best for you, but that whole idea of how you stop being a victim, where you can be more self-aware and see yourself in it. What was the responsibility in it? Okay, so as I look at this reading, it really does resonate that to me that the centerpiece is this solitude card. And so I'm just going to reach over here, hopefully without pulling the phone out of its socket, to pull the moon cards for some advice, because it is the full moon coming. I'm so inspired by your courage, Capricorn. You guys have a sensibility of faithfulness and maybe over loyalty, but you're to a fault such a hard worker. And if you're not being appreciated, you will be once you find a way to regularly take time just for you. It could be in the tub. I don't care what it is, but find that time where you can plug into some good music or just, entertain yourself with nobody else's problems around you. Okay, these are just your advice from the moon herself. We have focus on the positive. Speak your world into being. Yes, so important as you go forward here to make sure that you're not talking about your problems too much. A little complaining goes a long way. First of all, it puts people off. They don't want to hear it. And also, it just is going backwards. So just make sure, just pay attention, be self-aware, focus on the positive. And then the last one, cool your emotions. As you feel things come up, I was given a wonderful piece of advice from a friend of mine from Nicaragua. And her mom always told her whenever she's angry to have a glass of cool water. And so whenever my emotions are stirred up, that's what she tells me. She goes, go get some water. And it really does work. Okay. And at the bottom of the deck, we have honor your feelings. And indeed, there's a part of you that's just fucking tired. Take care of her. And you're going to have a real turnaround. I think it's all in the cards. Anyway, have a wonderful week and enjoy this full moon. And thank you so much for listening.